Buenas tardes. Voy a seguir con lo de de los niños y los premios y castigos. I'm speaking the wrong language. I'm going to continue with children and rewards and punishments. Schools are artificial just by the fact that they have so many children in one location. In the old days, in a more natural time, children would be with their families on the farms helping with the crops. Artificiality in schools makes organic discipline difficult for teachers. Starting in one-room schoolhouses, teachers use sticks to keep order. Artificial means of attaining order continue today. Teachers manipulate children in various ways depending upon individual circumstances and cultures, but this isn't good for the children. When I substituted at Piccolo School on the south side of Chicago, there was one male second grade teacher who used to hit children once in a while. In spite of that, I liked him because he treated me okay. And that was his philosophy, what he was doing, probably following his own philosophy. The children's skills at Piccolo were generally behind their grade level. When I saw that children in second grade were already behind, I realized, especially in regard to one girl who was lying on the floor during class, that their educational futures were already over. That girl, whose mother was 24 and had about 6 other children, the girl didn't even know how to sit at her desk. So it was a challenging school. One teacher of older children, maybe 5th grade, threatened a boy with taking him into the coat room. I asked the children after the teacher was gone, what happens when he goes in the coat room? And I was informed that he hits them. The way this works is a teacher first speaks to the parent of a given student and gets permission before hitting him. So this teacher may have gone to several students' parents beforehand and said, which ones can I hit your child, if necessary, if he misbehaves. And if the child gave him permission, then he's only going to hit that child. And the other children don't know the difference. They think he might hit me, so they all get scared. Some teachers complain about a lack of cooperation from parents in regard to discipline. This may refer to this hitting or may refer to parents who don't apply punishment when the teacher complains to them about the behavior or suspends their children. At Piccolo, a mother told me the vice principal had advised her to spank her child. Punishment is like damming up a river. Punished children's anger eventually overflows. I have a good friend whom I've known for about 30 years at least. I met her in Mexico when I was trying to get into graduate school at Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico. She wasn't very formally educated. We both were waiting to see the same dentist when we met. She had 2 little girls. Some years later, after I'd gotten to know her and saw how she got her oldest daughter to help with the cleaning, I advised her not to hit her. She ignored my advice, although I harped on it often through the years. From the beginning, I told her it was bad for her daughter. And I told the daughter when she was in 7th grade that the way she'd been trained would make her addictive. I pointed out, in other words, the reward part of it. I pointed out that she was already addictive or punishments too. They're both the same, actually. toward a boy whom she could hardly stop thinking about. She was already addictive. In referring to her honorary status at school, I told her she shouldn't carry the flag, which was something in an all-school ceremony that she was allowed to do because she was number one in her class. I told her she shouldn't accept the honor because it would make the other kids envious of her and some might take it out on her. But she said she liked it and would continue accepting it. But the main reason I had for being against it is another form of manipulation. Her sister, her younger sister, and she already didn't get along, probably because her mother's attitude about her high grades. She was always praising the older daughter and putting the younger daughter down for her poor grades. And 30 years later, the younger one, who's about 30 now, so that would be maybe 25 years later, but anyway, she told me, she remembers that I said to her at that time, which to me is very funny to hear it now because I didn't remember doing that. She said that I said she should have been the one to get the reward because she got all D's or whatever she got, low grades. And she said she remembers that to this day, but I didn't remember it. Anyway, it made an impression on her. Sure enough, when the older girl was 18, she had a baby. This meant she couldn't go to college. The father of the baby had another girlfriend, and I think he was a drinker. Her father also had a huge drinking problem. Eventually, he died from it. But her son, who when he was 7 years old, when I wrote this, he was 7 years old. Now he's about 20 years old. But here it says, recently, Alicia, who until now had been working at Coca-Cola, supporting her son, and her mother and her sister. She was supporting all three of them. But now she is still working, but she ran off with another married man. Taking her son with her to live with the man's mother who takes care of that child, and one of the man's two children, that grandmother, is taking care of them. Now this does could do very big harm to that child, her son, because before he had been taken care of by his grandmother. This boyfriend had lost his job, at Coca-Cola for stealing and is a drinker also. But after that, she broke up with him and that was over. But my point is that she is addictive in regard to her relationships with men. She shows bad judgment, and it just shows her training had something to do with the fact that she's unable to make good decisions. I believe these were not good decisions that she made, and I believe it had to do with her training. Because schools and child care centers are judged by parents, principals, and inspectors who aren't there most of the time and don't know what learning is or isn't really going on, what matters is the way it looks rather than the reality. It seems more important, or this is what teachers might tend to pay attention to rather than, are these children really learning, or what does it look like to these inspectors who never really see what's really going on. In child care centers, children can easily be mistreated and or terrorized without detection by outsiders. And since some children, when terrorized, are quieter and so-called better behaved than when they are not scared, there's a positive built-in incentive, a natural incentive for teachers to use the artificial incentive of threatening them. An inspector may praise a teacher with children standing quietly in a row. That's all I'll say for today. Thank you for listening.